This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Welcome back to another edition of Hometown Heroes on Family Life. I'm Mark Webster. This week's guest is Jeff Seigworth of Pennsylvania, who recently began another visit to war-torn Ukraine with A18 Missions, linking up with another PA missionary to Ukraine, Todd Gallagher. They're serving in a couple of different locations.
Doing some small stuff there around the city of Vinnytsia, and then we're going to do a bigger mission to the city of Kherson, down more near the front line, across the river from the Russian forces. Be doing some humanitarian aid work and delivering food and stuff and bringing the message, and then rebuilding some houses, putting some roofs on some homes.
How safe is it right now?
It's about as safe as a war zone can be. Everything west of the Dnieper River is relatively safe. It's everything in the east that's seeing a lot more of the heavier fighting that has been taking place, and it's been getting a lot worse further in the east. The west is still seeing some missiles and stuff, but it's not really as bad as outlying media companies play it off to be. I've spoken with the missionary over there. The air defense grid that Ukraine has been fairly successful in protecting its civilian population.
Still certainly an element of danger, so what motivates you to brave that and go back there?
God's calling me back. When I went over last time, it was something that God had called my heart to do. I went back, and of course we spoke there in August, or just after I'd come back from that mission in August. It was definitely placed on my heart that doing mission work, whether it was in Romania or Ukraine or Dominican Republic, God has been calling me into the mission field for sure. Todd, the head of the organization that I'm going to stay with, he's been laid up with some medical stuff that they've had to have taken care of. Kind of needs help catching up on everything. So that's the plan. We're going to go get caught up on the work that needs done and bring the message of Jesus and the hope of his resurrection back to the people in Ukraine. We're trying to start a flag football organization in Ukraine for the kids through the youth ministry that Todd does and A18 Missions does. So we're going to be doing a little bit of flag football, teaching the kids a little bit about American football.
Having some sort of distraction or something fun to do like flag football probably would take on some added significance, I would think.
Oh, it does. The kids, due to the air raid alerts, a lot of times you have to evacuate the buildings and they have to leave the schools or they have to go in their bomb shelters and stuff like that. That brings a lot of anxiety to the kids. So being able to get out and play flag football is definitely something they enjoy doing. And then we also work with them in their youth ministry stuff at the church. Thursday and Sunday, they put together a youth time at church, so we work with the kids there too. So it definitely helps alleviate the stress of everything that's been going on.
And certainly along those same lines, and we spoke about this in a previous interview, how the stressful war environment impacts faith. If anything, perhaps it makes people, including youth, more receptive.
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the biggest things that Todd's been seeing is the absolute growth in the church system. And even when I was over there, we saw kids passionately coming to church to spend time learning about Jesus and what's going on and the salvation that he can provide them and the hope that he can provide them because of the devastation of the war around them. Everybody at this point has either been impacted directly by the war in one way, shape, or another. So for them to be able to come to church and learn about Jesus and know that their salvation rests with him and that their peace is with him, we're just seeing this magnitude of growth in the church that is just, it's astounding. It's something that they've not seen before because they've not been in this situation before.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you this. It's somebody who's so intimately acquainted with day-to-day Ukrainian life in this situation and this war that's dragged on for 2 years now. What's your take or what's the sense on the ground there of how it's going to end?
There's still a lot of up in the air about how it's going to end. There's a lot of communication out there that's being spoken of a temporary armistice similar to what's North Korea, South Korea has going on there with NATO and allied troops defending what would be considered free Ukraine and then the Russian forces occupied Ukraine territory. Is that the truth? I don't know. Nobody really knows. Ultimately, God is still in control. Whatever plan he has laid out for the Ukrainian people and the rest of the world is going to be what he brings into fruition. We hope that there would be a complete reestablishment of Ukrainian presence in all of their territories, but do we know what the future lies? Only God does. How this ends, it's really in God's hands. Nobody's really quite sure what the future looks like. there are still good things going on in Ukraine, and the mission for the Christian faith, the people who are coming to Jesus, is just on fire in that country. That's
Pennsylvania's Jeff Seigworth, who, along with fellow PA missionary Todd Gallagher, is currently serving people in war-torn Ukraine with A18 missions. Please join us again next time as we search for your home, your town, your hero. It's Hometown Heroes on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.